G'day guys, this is Captain Noob here, and sometimes ammo is quite scarce in the Commonwealth and you find that you use up a lot of ammo very quickly. With this in mind, it's important to make the best use out of each ammo type to make sure you have an edge in a firefight at all times. To this end, I thought I'd discuss what I have found to be the best use for each ammunition type for both DPS and ammo efficiency. Keep in mind that all the damage I state in this video will be increased by having all the perks, and this list will also include DLC ammo types too. So let's get into it. So first off, we have the 38 special round, and it is used by 5 weapons. Going off the top from semi-auto, we have the pipe rifle, which does 57 damage with a calibrated powerful receiver. You have the pipe bolt action pistol or rifle, which does 78 damage with the 38 receiver. You have the pipe revolver, which does 54 damage with the 38 special receiver, the hunting rifle, which does 84 damage with the 38 special receiver, and lastly the combat rifle, which does 75 damage with the 38 special receiver. To make the best use out of this round for damage and ammo efficiency, you're going to want to use the hunting rifle at 84 damage once again. And for DPS, the only weapon that goes automatic with this round is the automatic pipe rifle with the powerful automatic receiver doing 48 damage. You also have the combat rifle, which is worth mentioning, doing 75 damage as sort of a middle ground. You don't have to pump the bolt every time, so it'll give you a little bit more DPS than the hunting rifle because it's semi-auto by nature. As far as legendary effects go for this, for the DPS, you're going to want explosive or wounding for that extra power for automatic weapons, and if you have mods installed, Furious is a good way to go too. But for efficiency, you're going to want to use either 2-shot or instigating to maximize the damage you can get per round. It is worth mentioning that both the hunting rifle and combat rifle have better options, so you're better off using better ammo types in them, whilst keeping maybe a pipe pistol or rifle handy if you have a surplus of 38 special rounds. So the next round we're going to be looking at is the 308 round. Firstly, we have the hunting rifle doing 166 max damage with the powerful calibrated receiver. Next up we have the pipe bolt gun, which does 153 max damage with the powerful calibrated receiver. Next up we have the pipe revolver pistol or rifle, which does 126 damage with the 308 receiver. And lastly we've got the combat rifle, which with the 308 receiver doing 172 damage max. So easily from this, you can see the DPS and efficiency go to the combat rifle. As far as legendary effects go for this one, you're going to want to use either 2-shot or instigating. Luckily 2-shot is rather easy to get with Overseer's Guardian, so you can make very good use out of your 308 rounds with Overseer's Guardian with the 308 receiver. Just beware of your ammo consumption, as the combat rifle can eat up those rounds really quickly. Moving along to the powerful 44 Magnum rounds, we've got one weapon in vanilla that uses this round, which is the 44 Magnum, doing 253 max damage with the advanced receiver. And if you have the Nuka World DLC, you can get your hands on the Western Revolver, which does a good 316 damage with the advanced receiver. The winner for this one is obviously going to be the Western Revolver in DPS and efficiency, because you'll be able to hit at the same speed as a 44 Magnum but do more damage, making much better use out of the ammo. Legendary effects such as instigating, 2-shot, never ending can greatly increase the potency of your revolvers. So that is what I recommend. Next up we've got the more or less clean cut 45 ACP. This ammo type is used by 5 weapons, and I'll list them now. First off, we've got the pipe revolver pistol or rifle doing 108 damage with the powerful calibrated receiver. Next, the pipe gun does 66 damage with the 45 ACP receiver. The SMG is next, and it does 48 damage, and it can only go automatic, so that's a powerful receiver for it. Next up, the combat rifle does 147 damage with the powerful calibrated receiver. And if you have the Far Harbor DLC, you can get the radium rifle, which does 181 max damage along with 100 radiation damage with the advanced receiver. As far as automatics go, you've got the combat rifle doing 111 damage, and the radium rifle also doing the 111 damage in addition to the aforementioned 100 rad damage. So clearly, to make the best use out of this 45 ACP, you're going to want to use the radium rifle, both auto or advanced, but in terms of DPS you can go with the combat rifle just fine. You just won't get the extra rad damage, which is okay because not all targets take rad damage, so you're not always taking advantage of that extra damage for the radium rifle. For legendary effects, Obviously it's going to be instigating, two-shot, and maybe even mighty for the bullet efficiency category. Just getting that extra per shot damage is very useful in keeping ammo levels high. And for the DPS, you're going to want to go with explosive, rapid, and wounding, and all that good stuff. Radiated is one to consider too if you're using the radium rifle. Because of that extra rad damage, you can just do a little bit more better against humans with the radium rifle, so that's something to consider. Next up, we've got Far Harbor's own 4570 round, used exclusively by the lever action rifle. Now, to make the best use of this round, it's pretty easy. Just give your lever action rifle an advanced receiver and you'll be doing 235 damage, which is not bad at all. Now, as for legendaries for this weapon goes, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but two-shot, instigating, and mighty is probably some of the best ways to go with it. And luckily for you Far Harbor players out there, you actually have Old Reliable, which is a unique lever action rifle you can purchase, which automatically has a two-shot effect on it, so there you go. So next up, we've got the big 50 cal rounds, and this is used by two weapons in the game. One is the hunting rifle, which does 193 max damage with the 50 cal receiver, and also the pipe bolt gun, which does 178 damage with the 50 receiver. So you can tell from that easily that the hunting rifle is better both for DPS and ammo efficiency, with the best legendary effects being two-shot, instigating, and mighty for these types. So next up, another singular weapon type ammo is the 5mm rounds, and this is for the minigun. So with the accelerated barrel, you're going to be doing the best DPS at 27 damage, but if you want to make your 5mm rounds more efficient and better damage, you can sacrifice a little bit of rate of fire for a little bit more damage. It sits at 30 with the tri-barrel. We all know what the best legendary effects are for the minigun, but if you don't know, or have been living under a rock, or have never seen my channel before, we all know that it's explosive, wounding, two-shot, or furious. I'd recommend not ever using this weapon until you've got a good legendary effect, because as it stands alone, the minigun does such low damage that it's not even worth using. Next cab off the rank is the 5.56 ammo, used solely by the assault rifle, but if you have the Far Harbor DLC, the unique combat rifle December's Child also uses 5.56 rounds. Now, in terms of semi-auto, the best the assault rifle can do with this round is 152 damage with the advanced receiver. That's versus the December's Child with the powerful calibrated receiver doing only 111 damage. In terms of automatic, the assault rifle uses the powerful automatic receiver to do 102 damage, whereas the December's Child does 147 with the powerful automatic receiver. So from this we can see that the efficiency is better with the assault rifle, doing that 156 damage with the advanced receiver. As for DPS, you'll probably get a little bit more DPS out of the assault rifle, and this is because with December's Child you can only have the rapid effect, which is built in, but with assault rifles you can put any legendary effect the game wants you to on. Good legendary effects are instigating, two-shot, and mighty, obviously for the efficiency, and for DPS you're going to want exploding, wounding, plasma infused, freezing, rapid, blah blah blah, the list goes on, you know what I'm talking about. So next up we have the 7.62 round from the Nuka World DLC. This round is used solely by the Handmade Rifle, carried around by the Raiders. Powerful automatic receiver on this weapon does 123 damage, and the advanced receiver does 205 damage. Obviously you can tell from this that the way that DPS is going to be maximized with the powerful automatic receiver, and for efficiency purposes you're going to go ahead and take the advanced receiver. Good legendary effects on this is explosive, wounding, instigating, two-shot, all that good stuff, and furious too, which is available without the use of mods, seeing as you get two legendaries. One is the problem solver and the other one is splatter cannon, so there you go. Two free easy legendary weapons for this one. Not too much to say about it, we'll move on to the next. Now for the 10mm round, it is used by two weapons, that being the 10mm pistol and the deliverer. With the advanced receiver, the 10mm pistol does 93 damage, and the deliverer's advanced receiver gives us 129 damage. In terms of automatic, this is not possible on the deliverer, so the best way of running this automatic is with the powerful automatic receiver on the 10mm pistol, giving you 66 damage. Obviously, the most efficient way to run 10mm ammo is through the deliverer, getting that 129 damage. Far outclasses the 10mm's performance, but for DPS purposes you're going to want to use a powerful automatic receiver offered by the 10mm pistol. With legendary effects, it is noting if you're running this game without mods or vanilla, the only legendary effect you can ever get with the Deliver is VATS enhanced, leaving much more versatility in the hands of the 10mm pistol. So to that end, I recommend Explosive, Wounding, Mighty to get the best use out of your ammo. Next up, the shotgun shell. It's a pretty easy one here, no brainer. You have the double-barreled shotgun doing 224 damage with the advanced receiver, going up against the combat shotgun doing 250 damage with the advanced receiver. Obviously, both for DPS and efficiency, you're going to go for the combat shotgun here, no question. As for legendary effects, Explosive, Wounding, and Mighty are very recommended for this setup. Lastly, we've got the 2mm electromagnetic cartridge rounds used solely by the Gauss rifle. All you need to do here to make the best efficiency out of those rounds is fully upgrade your Gauss rifle and you'll be laughing. You know the best legendary effects, 2-shot, instigating, mighty, just to name a few. So there you have it, just the most efficient ways to use your ballistic ammo in Fallout 4. I'll be doing energy weapons later on, so stay tuned for that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, guys.